Hello and welcome to another episode of Café 21. I'm your host, Ross Crawford, and in the hot seat today, we have another very special guest. Our guest today is a lead consultant in sport and exercise medicine at the Institute of Sport, Exercise and Health. And we're also very excited to have him as a keynote speaker at the inaugural STGC event. But first, he joins us now on Café 21. Welcome to the hot seat, Professor Mike Loosemore. How are you,
Hi, nice to talk to you, Ross.
Smashing. So you know the drill, you've been briefed, so it's 3 questions and 3 answers. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Cool, smashing. Now, firstly, you have a lot of experience across multiple different positions at the NHS, elite sport, and the private medical sector. So do you want to tell the audience just a little bit more about what you do, and you can talk about all the many roles that you seem to take part in?
Yeah, I work in sport and exercise medicine, which means that we are using we are looking after, on the elite side, elite athletes, treating their injuries, trying to get them back into sport better than when they came to us. We're looking at different ways of treating injuries and improving recovery to improve the level of sports and to improve the endurance of the sportsmen that we deal with, not just within a game, but within their career. We can then use this to help the general public if they have injuries, because you don't have to be a sportsman to damage your anterior cruciate ligament. You don't have to be a sportsman to have a pain in the groin. And we can use the stuff we've learned with elite sports to help the general public through the NHS and through private medicine to get better quicker. And the other part, which is the exercise medicine stuff that I do, which is using physical activity to treat disease. So that might be to lose weight, to improve your diabetes. We do a lot of work with cancer patients, both in prevention of cancer, during chemotherapy and radiotherapy, and also post-cancer therapy, when people have been told that they're in complete remission, but still feel terrible because they've had chemo, radiotherapy, and maybe a big operation, so they're very deconditioned. And we found that reconditioning these patients makes a huge difference to how they feel.
Is it very much a sense of not just the recovery, but also trying to prevent these diseases? Is that what a lot of your research involves?
Yeah, there's a lot of research out there on preventing disease through physical activity. I mean, we are physically active, you know, that we are designed, we've evolved to be physically active. So, and it's really only the last 100 years, particularly the 20th century, where we looked at labor-saving devices. And we were continuing producing labor-saving devices. And we've come into the 21st century, having been incredibly successful at reducing our labor. And we've now discovered that actually we're not doing hardly any physical activity at all. I mean, 15% of the population is considered inactive. That's doing less than 30 minutes of moderate activity a week. And we're not designed to do that. We're designed to do, 25 kilometers of walking a day as hunter-gatherers. And that's what our body is happy doing. And that's where the body works well. And as soon as you start getting below that, then things start to go wrong. And if we can increase our physical activity again in the world where we are, where there are a lot of labor-saving devices, then the population as a whole will be fitter and healthier and happier.
Yeah, well, I hope so. That's some fascinating stuff, actually. Moving on slightly, just shifting gears to one of your specific roles, which is as the British Olympic boxing team doctor. Mm-hmm. That's involved traveling with a squad to big events, making sure you're on top of everything in terms of preventing injuries and recovery with the boxers. How difficult is it in a sport like boxing to stay on top of the injuries and making sure you're staying on top of the condition of the fighters in such a traditionally violent sport?
Yeah. Traditionally controlled sport. I wouldn't say it's traditionally violent sport. The trick has been, over the years, we've managed to get the squad to all train together in one place. It's all based up in the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield. And it's the long-term monitoring of their physical and medical conditions over time, which allows us to go to competitions in a really good state. And that's everything from monitoring their mood, their muscle fatigue, obviously looking after their injuries. Crucial to that is their nutrition and making weight properly, because obviously boxing is a weight controlled sport. And we know that if they can make weight and maintain weight in a good way, then they don't get injured as much. And for me, a successful event will be we take all the boxers to a championship and they have no niggles. There's not even a niggle there. So you're taking a doctor and a couple of physios along who hopefully will do nothing for 2 weeks. And if we do nothing for 2 weeks, then that's been a successful competition. What you don't want to be doing is treating chronic, back pains, wrist pains, shoulder pains during a competition. I mean, obviously you do get acute problems, which you do with any acute sporting event, but they're the things you want to be treating, not chronic stuff. So we try and get all that sorted out before you go to a big competition like an Olympics.
No, it's fascinating stuff as someone that's followed boxing for so long. I think any boxing fans watching will be interested in the behind the scenes of how the doctors treat the fighters and how they prevent injuries and things like that. So fascinating stuff. Now, your final question. You've even found time to conduct your own research and do your own projects. You've been in this line of work for like a good couple of decades now, so you've seen the real evolvement of technology over the years.
Yeah.
Particularly in this industry. So how has technology evolved and enabled you to continue your own work and conduct your own research and work on new projects?
Yes, I remember when we went, I think it was the 2006 Commonwealth Games, when the team turned up with laptop computers and everybody thought that we were very advanced because we all had our own computers to look at. But the thing that's, technology has advanced extremely quickly. And the thing that I'm most excited about at the moment is we have an instrumented mouthguard. This is a mouthguard which will measure, has a triaxial accelerometer and a gyroscope in it, a battery and a transmitter and an aerial. And this will transmit the data of the movement of the head to a receiver at ringside. We've already used this in rugby union and football and in boxing. And this allows us to know what has happened to the head and subsequently the brain. And we're getting some really fascinating data that's coming from this, which is going to help to inform about what head injuries are, what brain injuries are, how they occur, what's a dangerous punch, what's not a dangerous punch, when should we be concerned, when should we not be concerned, and also changing rules. If we change, we removed the head guards from men in amateur boxing and found that we got fewer knockouts. And I think that this sort of technology will help to inform us why that has happened and how that has happened. And because this data is real time, you're getting it as it happens. You don't have to analyze it for a week and then get a chart of what's happened. This is real time data. This could really help the doctors at ringside and indeed the coaches and judges to know exactly what's going on in the ring, and hopefully make boxing much safer, because the referee could be alerted if there was a dangerous blow that happened. And also it would help the ringside doctors post-bout to treat the boxer if they've had a particularly bad blow. But also over a boxing season, same with a rugby season or a boxing career, you would know how many blows you'd had and if these were dangerous blows and if they might cause you long-term brain issues. So this is, for me, this is the most exciting thing that's happened to us technologically in boxing. And I think this is going to be the future of the way the sport goes using this technology.
Oh, that's amazing stuff. As you allude to, I think the health of boxers and the health of athletes has never been such a hot topic in sports as it is now, particularly in boxing and rugby and football. The concussion laws and rules implemented this year are finally put in place. But that's all we have time for today. We hope to hear a lot more from you, Professor Mike, in the future, especially at the STGC event. I think it'd be amazing to hear your insights, and hopefully we can chat more about this kind of thing in the future. So thank you very much, Professor Mike, for sitting in the hot seat today with us on Café 21. We wish you well for the future here at STGC, and we'll see you soon.
Great. Thank you very much.